So just like we've done in the past, we're going to go ahead and do a run through of the Pokedex binder, and not only that, I have got a stack of upgrades and new additions that we are going to add in. Now you will be able to see that we are currently on 917 out of 1025, and by the end of this video we will have less than 100 to go in the Pokedex binder. And this is actually the third version I've done of this binder walkthrough. I've done it at 500 and 800, and then of course this one here today. Now the only thing that has changed since then is this is actually a new binder, which is a red one, and that one is from Poke Protection, and I have upgraded it for one simple reason. This one here holds 1,200 cards rather than 1,024 that my previous one had. So now I've got space not only for all of the current Pokemon, all 1,025, but I also have space for Gen 10 as well. If you want to get 5% off one of these binders from Poke Protection, you can use the link in the description down below. Now in terms of the first page, we haven't actually made any changes to this for quite some time. The only card I've debated swapping out is swapping out the Ivysaur here and then adding in the one from, I believe it's Mega Revolutions instead. I think it's a better illustration and it's grown on me over time. And then the only other one that we could do some damage to is the Beedrill, because it has a alt art, I believe, from back in the day. And then let's flick over the page, because Kanto is actually now completely full as well. And this is the first page where we can get one of our first new upgrades in, and that is going to be to Jigglypuff, because I picked up the tag team with Lopunny. And yes, it's in Japanese. If I get a English alternative available to me at some point, I may grab that, but it's a little bit cheaper, of course. And we can swap out the reverse holo and we can upgrade it to the tag team. And then if Jigglypuff gets like an illustration rare such as Wigglytuff here, which of course is also new in this binder since we did the previous run through, then maybe I'll swap that out into Lopunny's spot. With the tag team, got the options there. And sticking on the same page, we're going to swap out the Paris reverse holo and swap it for the Galarian Gallery, which I was meant to have picked up at a previous card show, but I ended up picking up a second Parasect by accident. And with that in, that's just part and parcel of the journey of the Pokedex binder, where we're going to be swapping out the box art Pokemon for such cards like this. And by the way, if you're enjoying the Pokedex binder series and you want to get early access to these videos, make sure to hit the join button down below. You get early access to videos, you get your name featured in videos, and you get a loyalty badge beside your name that grows over time the longer you are a supporter. Ninetales is a fairly new pickup as well, the Obsidian Flames illustration rare. If we flick over the page, this is where we can go ahead and make another upgrade. Now, this might be a little bit controversial potentially, but I'm going to be swapping out the Psyduck from 151 and swapping it for the brand new one from the Mega Evolutions. I believe this one is from Phantasmal Flames off the top of my head, and I'm going to pop that one in there. The rend illustration is so good, I just had to have it in the binder. And in here, this is a really good sort of page to show like a few sort of upgrades that we've made. Dugtrio recently got an art rare as well, or an illustration rare, which will be coming out in Ascended Heroes, and I picked it up in Japanese. I get a little bit impatient, not impatient, but impulsive more so, and I end up picking them up in their Japanese versions a little bit earlier than when they come out in English. Another card on here worth pointing out is the Meowth, which I had signed by Matthew Sussman as well, who was the original voice actor for Meowth, and that is on the card itself. Now, Ponyta, for example, is getting a illustration rare in a upcoming set this year, so that'd be fantastic. We can go ahead and upgrade that one to a more impressive version than the box window. But other cards such as Tentacle, they don't have any illustration rares, so this is the best case for it, which is like that kind of 2/3 illustration kind of window with the gradient at the bottom. And if we flick over the page, we've got another page that has been upgraded quite a bit fairly recently, where we've got the Dodrio V card, which we picked up at one of the card shows, as well as we also have another tag team in here, which is one thing I quite like about the Pokedex binder, that if I find a tag team that works, it's just another variation of card that can go into the binder. And that one is in there simply because it has both versions of Muck in Muck's original spot in the Pokedex. And you'll notice in here I don't have any of the regional forms. They are all in my other binders, the Hisuian versions, the Galarian versions, etc. We picked up another break card, and that was for Marowak. I believe last time we only had the Gold Duck. And we also picked up the Electrode GX, which is one of two of the best artworks for Electrode in its current, in the current time that we're in. On this page, I would like to upgrade the Ghastly as well as the Drowsy as well to their art rares or illustration rares at some point, and to be honest, they'll probably be in Japanese because their English versions are a little bit expensive still. Flicking over the page once again, we can go ahead and swap out the Horsey here, which is a promo, and upgrade it to the art rare, which I've eventually managed to pick up. Most of these were picked up on Whatnot. Otherwise, some of the ones that are already in here are from card shows. Now, another card we picked up at a previous card show was also the Kabutops, and this is of course the fossil version, but I am going to be swapping this out, even though that will have a purpose in another binder of mine, to the holo from 151. Again, I just want the best version of every card. I know my vintage lovers will probably find that a bit of a crime, but that's going to be a nice little upgrade. Now over here, we have got a sort of trio of cards which just look fantastic. We've got the Gyarados, the Jolteon, which of course you'll have seen in the previous binder walkthrough, and the Flareon V as well. But we do need to, of course, pick up a Vaporeon at some point as well, and we also upgraded Eevee fairly recently as well. Let's flick over the page because again, that is the end of 151 or the Kanto era, all the way up to the Ancient Mew. Now, one thing you'll notice, technically my Mewtwo has regressed a little bit because we used to have the V card from Pokemon Go, and now we've just got Team Rocket's EX because I actually traded that other one away. So at some point I will need to, of course, upgrade the Team Rocket's Mewtwo, and I can't remember necessarily which ones we had in the previous video, but we've of course got the beautiful Zapdos EX with all three birds in there, and the beautiful Team Rocket's Moltres that we packed on the channel. Fairly recently as well, we went ahead and got Ethan's Typhlosion. What a beautiful illustration rare this one is. And on this page, if we get to Fraligator, we're going to be swapping out the reverse holo, and we're going to be giving it what looks like a pretty minor upgrade, and that is to the holo. I'm not sure what set this is from, but it's still a really awesome artwork. And that is something you will start to learn if you are doing your own Pokedex binder, that there are so many Pokemon that have yet to ever have any kind of fancy-ish card. Most of them will just be stuck with a regular box window style card, and that's what you're going to see in today's video, because I've picked up quite a few of kind of the easiest options in a way to find, because they only have box windows. So Fraligator gets the upgrade, albeit kind of minor. Let's go ahead then and flick over to the next page. Now, fairly recently I actually added in this Xatu, which we packed on the channel from Paradox Rift. It's a holo, it's a really lovely card. But in the meantime, I had already ordered, well, I say ordered, I'd won on Whatnot a Xatu Baby Shiny, and that's essentially like the fanciest version that Xatu has. So for now, that will be going in until it gets like an illustration rare. Now, we can actually slide out the unknown placeholder. If you're interested in these placeholders, there's a link in the description down below to the person that I bought these off of. And of course, unknown having one of every letter, I went for the J, of course. Now, Unknown does have like a alt art that is also an option for future, but I wanted to grab the promo, and of course it had to be a J. And recently we started picking up a few of the art rares for upcoming sets like Ascended Hero. So we have already got quite a few of them in the binder, likewise this Mischievous. Yeah, let's flick over the page. So we then end up with a page where we've added in a few promos fairly recently from the collection boxes, and this one is the Kingdra EX. What a beautiful illustration this is, and the lighting today, because I've had to set it up for the binder, doesn't really do justice to how kind of sparkly and shiny some of these cards are, but what a beautiful illustration that is. Now, Hitmontop down here is currently empty, but it has also received a art rare in a upcoming set as well. I believe it is Ascended Heroes, so we'll be keeping an eye out for that one to go in that space. Likewise, Macargo has Ethan's Macargo, but whether or not we pick it up or not, I quite like this particular artwork, but in the long run, I won't be in a rush to do it, but I probably will do it. You may also spot that certain cards are Yukamoris, which of course I am still collecting every Yukamori, so at some point I will need to get this one out of this binder and into the Yukamori binder. Let's flick over once again. Now, this particular page is quite a special one, really. First of all, we've got some really lovely illustrations here. This Blissey is a beautiful card. And then at a card show, I gave my friends some budget to pick me up some random cards as a mystery sort of part to the video, and they picked up the Raikou, the Entei, and the Suicune as well. And don't worry, all of these cards are signed by my friends, but on the actual sleeve itself, not on the card. What a stunning card this is, by the way. That's probably maybe my favorite out of the three, but to be fair, I collectively really love all 3 of them. Let's pop that one over here. Now we do have some empty spots down here. Let's go ahead and swap out the Trico insert for, again, a Pokemon that only has box window kind of arts. So you can pick them up, of course, fairly cheap, and you can knock it off of the total. Likewise, its evolution as well. We can slide out the placeholder and we can slide in a pretty standard card, just very cheap. But again, there are no additional options for this. So if you are doing a Pokedex binder, you will have to sort of settle for those box window arts for the time being. While we're on this particular page on the left-hand side, of course, fairly recently as well, we picked up the Celebi V. Beautiful card. Just look at that artwork. Absolutely stunning. And moving over to the other side, we're going to do some damage over here to Mudkip. We're going to be adding in, again, another box window art. So there is a little bit of having to settle, like I said, for that. Likewise, its evolution as well is going to be coming out with the placeholder. And again, another box window card. And it's just something I've had to accept as part of this journey. And you know, in the future, they're just ready and waiting for an upgrade, which is the beautiful thing about the Pokedex binder. Is it's like a living binder. When a new card comes out, hopefully a Pupitar, we can then get it upgraded and, you know, fill out pages with special cards as and when they come out. Especially once you complete it and you fill it, you're then already ahead of the curve, and then when new cards come out, you can upgrade them when they are available to you and pop them in your binder. Dustox down here has just recently received a illustration rare. Again, this is going to be coming out in Ascended Heroes, but Ascended Heroes is going to be taking such a long time to come out that, again, I had to pick up all the art rares. And one lovely art rare that we're going to be swapping in is the Ludicolo for the illustration rare by Jerky. What a awesome card, packed full of color. It shines a lot more in person than in the sleeve and with the lighting today. And that one is from Phantasmal Flames. And flicking the page, we then end up on a page that has not really had too much attention fairly recently. I mean, we did pick up the Mawile. This card is so underrated, and the texture in it is absolutely beautiful. Like, it looks so good in person, the eye shining as well. There's a few cards here that I will need to pay some attention to soon and get upgrades for. Shedinja has an illustration rare that we can go ahead and swap in at some point soon. And Breloom, likewise, I believe the Swellow have the 2/3 illustrations that we can swap in. So yeah, we just need to keep an eye out for them at future card shows. But Skitty and Delcatty, again, are box window card Pokemon, so I'll have to just find them in like a bulk kind of box at a future card show. Let's swap out the Swalot down here, because recently I picked up a load of Yukamoris, which you're going to see later on, and one of them, because I don't have another option for Swalot, needs to go in here first. So I'll have to get another version of that Pokemon to then swap that one out and put it into the Yukamori. But this is my priority binder out of all of the binders. There's also another new addition we can do down here, which is the Cacturn, and then that one has a lovely reverse holo, really nice illustration on that one as well by Dom, and we'll slide that one in there. Now, one of my more favorite illustrations fairly recently is this Numel, which again is going to be coming out in Ascended Heroes. There's something about the bold effect to the illustration that is just so nice, and with that little bit of shine as well in the lava and in the sky, it's just become one of my favorite fairly recent and modern illustrations. We also picked up the Altaria as well. As you'll know, I love a Trainer Gallery card. On this page as well, these two collectively have a lovely joining artwork, which at some point, again, we will pick up. And Medicham recently also got an illustration rare as well, so there's loads of additional options. Now, if we flick over the page, one thing I've done, and by complete accident, is Snorret. We already have this illustration in here, but I picked up the latest one as well, and I don't know why I did necessarily, because I thought I didn't have a card for it. So I'm going to keep the original one in here because I actually prefer the illustration one, illustration of that one, should I say. Again, not much has changed. However, this page was a momentous one because that was the very first page in the Pokedex binder that was ever completely filled. And the only card worth pointing out really here that may have gone in since the last sort of binder review is the Glalie EX. And let's go over once more. And on this page, we have another new addition that we can add in. We can swap out the insert for Chimchar. Again, a Pokemon with just box window arts. So that one can go in. It completes the evolution line as well. Here we picked up the Latios as well, which we packed from Surging Sparks. What a beautiful card that is. Now Salamence, I do have my eye on, which I can't remember what the illustration set is from, but you can see it on screen now. And then there are other cards on here. Recently, of course, popped in the Piplup art rare as well. This has come, I think this one is from Phantasmal Flames in English. So as you can kind of tell, in my head, I've got like all of the options available, and I've got them all organized in the Dex app as well, which I use to actually manage this whole sort of project. There's a link to Dex in the description down below, nowhere near affiliated. They don't send me any money, although I wish they would. But like Grottle, for example, over there has a beautiful illustration rare that we can pop in at some point. And of course, Deoxys also has some awesome variations of cards that we can grab at some point. Combi is then our next new addition. And again, very simple artwork that I managed to get from a pack of Obsidian Flames, and it just counts as an option. And again, no other variations to talk of other than one that's by an artist that I really like. So potentially we'll swap it out for that one in the future. And look at this, the beautiful Badoo art rare. Badoo getting such a magical card. Look at that. What a beautiful artwork that is, and congratulations to Badoo on the level up, because that only had a few very sort of small, sort of simple cards until that one. Shinx and Luxio, they're probably going to end up being baby shinies, but its final evolution here is the Agawa artwork, which is another artist that I absolutely love. Just really awesome, like just energetic artworks. And I believe a lot of these empty slots here again will probably also be box window arts as well at some point. A new addition on this page that we picked up at, it was one of the Plymouth card shows, is the Lucario. I actually don't know why this is so cheap. I guess it's because it's a promo and maybe they were really easily available, but I think that artwork is massively underrated. Like, I think in long run, that card will be worth a little something. And of course, if you're familiar with the series, I could not give a monkeys about the value of cards at all. I just think long run, more of a prediction. I think that one will just fly up, but it also sits right next to the Riolu as well, which was the promo from Mega Revolutions that we opened both variations of the ETB. And another card that's probably a little bit underrated as well is the Weavile. Look how cool that illustration is, like in the lab. That looks sick. Moving on, we can then go ahead and grab another card that can go in, and that is the Azelf. Again, for a box window, it's really bizarre when they do this Pokemon, where one of the Pokemon, i.e. Mesprit, has a beautiful artwork, like an illustration rare, but Azelf doesn't at all. Now, another card that we can upgrade, it's actually the Regigigas. I've not only just somewhat picked this one up, but I saw this V-Star on Whatnot, and it was only £1. And it was, I just thought, I have to grab that. It's an awesome artwork, pretty underrated as well. And it's probably my favorite for Regigigas, so yeah, for £1, it's in. And we've made some pretty nice progress here as well, like Gallade. We've got the beautiful V card, the trainer gallery. I actually packed the Rotom EX special illustration rare as well with family over Christmas. And also fairly recently, we picked up the Arceus V and the Dialga at one of the card shows fairly recently in Plymouth. Shaman, there is a lovely artwork for that we will get at some point, and likewise the Fion, is it? And I still can't believe we've not managed to pick up a Glaceon. And Snivy being there, that starts Gen 5. And this was the first generation I completely filled because we had, of course, Black Bolt, White Flare. And of course, there's loads of illustration rares for every single one of these Pokemon. I just need the time to pick them up, to be honest with you. I've been focusing more on achieving a full Pokedex, and then I'll get into what I'm calling upgrade season, where we will upgrade a lot of the cards to their illustration rares and so on. So there hasn't been any progress here for quite some time, other than the Herdia, which went in fairly recently. And that's about it, really. No other kind of progress here. And if we flick over the page, another card that went in fairly recently as an upgrade was the Lilligant. What a beautiful artwork. And then the Pettilils as well, just in the field below. It just looks so good. And we'll keep the video going by flicking over the page, because we need to go ahead and get the Vanillish out and upgrade it to the art rare in its place. And of course we'll do the whole line as I mentioned at some point, but that's just one upgrade to this particular part. Of course we packed a few cards. We picked the Zora up recently. That one is from Shrouded Fable, and that replaced the illustration rare that was already in there from one of the ETBs. And I quite like this card, so it's worth looking at it. It's the Trubbish. It's a cool card. I like the illustration style on it, and for a Pokemon that doesn't really get a lot of love, it's quite cool to highlight it. Over on the next page, again, no real kind of progress in Gen 5. I've kind of left Gen 5 once I filled it, like I said, to focus on the overall total. So there hasn't been that many sort of upgrades here. The Beartic was the only card that we needed to finish the generation. So that was the final one to actually go in. And then on the final page here, we have got some kind of like new stuff going on. We picked up the Hydreigon EX from Surging Sparks. That was actually packed from my Charizard UPC. It's an Agawa artwork and it's absolutely beautiful. And then just below it, we're going to go ahead and swap out the Terrakion for its art rare from Black Bolt or White Flare, either one of them. Very, very cool artwork. Look at that kind of like apocalyptic style background, and we'll pop that one in here. And that's what I think was going to be probably one of the best generations in the binder in the long run, is actually going to be Black Bolt, White Flare, because there's just all of those illustration rares that are available. We can go ahead and just make it look as good as possible. And this was another card that was picked up by one of my friends in that kind of mystery episode, the Ends Reshiram. Very, very, very underrated. And down here, we can actually slide out another insert for Delphox. And in my opinion, this is the best artwork for Delphox. There's not that many, but this is going to be the best option, and I want to slide that one in there as yet another new addition. Let's flick over the page. Let's leave Gen 5. Let's carry on then into the next one. And we have another new addition that we can pop in. Go, another box window Pokemon. We have a reverse holo for it up on the cliffs. That's going to go in as a new addition. And another card that we put in the binder fairly recently as well was the Greninja EX, another Shrouded Fable promo. What a beautiful card that one is. One of my favorite cards in the entire binder. Now flicking over the page, we also have a page where we've added in like a few options here fairly recently. The Dark Sylveon V, again, a card I think is a little bit underrated. We also added in the Hooper Special Art Rare as well. This has got so much texture on it. Again, outside of the sleeve, it looks fantastic. And great news, Tyrant is getting an illustration rare in the actual promo. It's in an ETB, it is the promo, which hopefully means that all of these are equally getting new cards, because these two have got EXs, and Amora is hopefully going to get a regular card as well in one of the future upcoming sets. So they will be much, much easier to find, because Tyrant, for example, only has like 3 cards, and likewise its evolution. And I think these two are a similar kind of story as well. So they should be a lot easier, and hopefully we can pack them rather than buy them. Moving on to the next page, where we can actually go ahead and complete a whole evolution line. We can slide out the Poplio for another box window card. And we can also swap out its evolution for, again, another box window card, because they are the best versions for that Pokemon. It's crazy, isn't it? The world, like this, the sort of world that Pokemon is currently in, you just expect most cards to have something kind of fancy, but no, there isn't anything available for it. The other cards worth pointing out on here, the Oricorio EX, the Shinji Kanda promo, again from the UPC that I got. Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful card. You can look at that card for so long and look at all the details in there. And fairly recently, we also added the Volcanion SAR as well. And GXs have been getting a lot of love, because they actually fill up a lot of Pokemon's best card arts as well. And I'm a huge fan of the GXs as well. So they've been going in. Likewise, the Wishy Washy as well. It's just a cool era of Pokemon that I wasn't in, and it just screams to me every time I see them in the binders. I love it. Flicking over the page, we end up with another card that we can add in, and it is the Pumpkumuku. Anyway, we've got a Kamiya artwork reverse holo. Again, this is actually the best artwork for it in my opinion, so that one is going in as another new addition. And again, more GXs that have been going in fairly recently. The Komodo GX just looks so sick. Likewise, the Drampa just above it. Moving on over, we then end up in an era that I really do not like, but I have to start chipping away at, and we are going to be doing that. The Cosmog is going to be taken out of the binder, or the insert anyway, and we're going to be adding in again what is probably the best artwork for it. We've got Lily and Clefairy doll in the background, 25th anniversary card going in as a new addition. And at future card shows I am chipping away at these quite a bit because I do not want the binder to end with an Ultra Beast. I'm just not a fan. However, with them having GX cards, I would love this whole page almost to be fully GX, because there are certain artworks like this one that have grown on me a lot. Like, I don't mind the Lunala and Solgaleo. I always get told I say it wrong, but they're the two that I don't mind at all. But this lot down here, not a fan. But if I can get them all in GXs, I think this page would be quite a lot more appealing for me. We've also added recently the baby shinies for Grookey and Thwackey. I think we should probably get the Rillaboom as well in a baby shiny as well, or just like a full art shiny version. But otherwise, we have also got the Marshadow up here with the Pikachu at the bottom. Just a sick artwork, and the Pikachu I think takes a second or two to actually see when you're looking at the illustration for the first time. Let's then carry on, and down here in the bottom left, the Gossifleur is going to be coming out again. It is just a box window art Pokemon, so yes, it's not the most entertaining in a sense, or like amazing in terms of the illustrations that are going in, but you're literally limited to it, or you just leave that slot empty and just hope that in the long run there is something. But that doesn't really help me in this series of content that you're enjoying. And then on here again, a couple more best case scenarios for Pokemon: the Arrokuda, baby shiny, and likewise the Tutor as well. We picked up the Sanaconda V recently as well. I love this card. The artwork on it is fantastic. Likewise, the texture as well. It really does shine. And the Yamper, we also picked up the art rare for. Likewise, the Inteleon as well. Indeedee over here is going to be swapped out from a box window card to a full art shiny as well. So we'll pop that one in there, and this sort of area's come together quite well. We've got a lot of the Galarian versions, which, by the way, somebody actually explained to me why they have like inserts in the Pokedex, of course, because they are like completely new forms of the Pokemon. There wasn't a Berserker before, so it's a Galarian Berserker. Even though it's a regional form, it wasn't a Pokemon before, so that's why it has a Pokedex entry, which obviously makes sense when you say it out loud, but when I was thinking about it, I hadn't really thought it through that much. We also picked up the Center Scorch as well, the V card. Beautiful trainer gallery. There's lots of texture in there, and it's just an awesome artwork. But it's coming together nicely. Best case scenarios for a lot of these Pokemon as well currently, so that makes me feel quite good, because I know that they're essentially completely checked off for quite some time. Flicking over the page, now there is an empty spot, but we have the Pokemon for it, and that is the Dracovish V. Again, best case card for it. And so we're very nearly there. We've got this beautiful line here, the jerky illustrations. Again, I think they're coming out in Ascended Heroes, I believe it is. And then this one's been out for quite some time. But the actual texture, the color, the shine on this card in person is even more impressive when you see it with your own eyeballs. And then here, there's also like an area where we're going to kind of really struggle with the Pokedex. Calyrex, if I wanted to simply just get Calyrex, then there is only one box window card for it. Yes, it has a bunch of illustration rares that you can grab for it, but they all include like the horses and their variations. But Spectra, is it? And the Glastria, they, again, if I wanted to simply just get them, then again, they only have like one actual card for. I'd have to go for an illustration rare, which is a Calyrex that includes that Pokemon in it. So I might have to bend the rules for these three potentially. Kubfu, one card ever made for it. So that's going to be fun to try and find. And then we have to pick a version of its evolution as well to also go here. We can only have one space. And again, if you are doing a Pokedex binder, you will find that cards like this, the Hisuian Basculegion, this is the best case card for it. The stamped vertical hollow. It's just something you'd have to settle for that particular Pokemon, but I'm sure you'd be fine and get over it once you realize how good some of the other cards are that will go into your Pokedex binder. Lots of illustration rares, of course, as you'd expect for more modern cards and more modern Pokemon with the most recent sets. The Pawmi being one of those, that lovely rend illustration. Charcadet with the promo from Mega Evolutions, and even Nimble getting involved as well with an art rare. Flicking over, we're getting towards the back of the binder now, where this is all starting to wrap up. We've got lovely illustrations in here though. The Agawa artwork for Espartha, So artwork again from a friend, signed on sleeve, don't worry, the so artwork. Just to name a few from all of these beautiful cards. The Sir Titan, love the art style on that one. And one of my favorite spreads of the whole binder is this sort of future and ancient version of the binder. We've got some really lovely cards in here as well. Iron Treads, is it Iron Hands? The Wu Chen, Iron Valiant, which has every single one of the iron forms in the background as well, just hidden in the design. It's such a cool artwork. And Koraidon and Miraidon also got upgraded fairly recently as well. And then we get to the back of the binder, where again, nothing left to do in terms of adding anything new, more sort of catching up to where we are with everything. Teal Mask Ogerpon went in fairly recently. I can't remember what this is called again. Is it Roaring, not Roaring Moon, one of them. Anyway, it's a really cool artwork with some very cool shine running through it. And now we have space for the 1025th card and multiple pages beyond that to cover Gen 10 and probably beyond as well, depending on how many cards they decide to add to Pokemon. And with that run through done, the Pokedex binder total actually now sits at 936. We have got less than 100 Pokemon to go in the Pokedex binder.